All right, y'all. So before I get into this video, I want to give everybody a disclaimer. Even though what I'm going to be saying is the brutal truth, even though what I'm going to be talking about is just me being brutally honest, and I know it's a lot of things that we as people do not want to talk about. It's very taboo to talk about. It's like everybody avoids it. But in my view, in my opinion, in my deep down core of the essence of who it is that I am as a person, I think that we should talk about these things more often. Even though it might scare the shit out of us, even though it might hurt, even though it might cause some psychological horror or terror, or it might get you depressed, it might break you, I think that we should discuss the fact that bad things are going to happen in this life. Eventually, there is going to be sacrifices, whether you want to admit it or not. All of us are going to eventually be on the altar of sacrifice. We are going to be sacrificed on the altar with something, whether it is our health, whether it is a family member, whether it is your car, your home, your job, whatever it is. There's going to be a time. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be somebody back in the freaking Aztec days, but there's going to be a time where they're going to put you there and somebody's going to rip your heart out and go, "Oh, la bakoko, shi la bata, shi balata." Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you, but I'm saying that's just a metaphor for that this whole life is literally sacrifice. This whole life has to do with sacrifice. And everything is going to be sacrificed. It just depends on how it happens and when it happens, but it will eventually happen. And I don't think that we should run from these facts of life. Even though we don't want to face them, I don't think we should run from them. I think that is the worst thing we can do, is to try to hide it and avoid the fact that things are going to happen. And it's not fun. It's not a fun topic. It's not a fun thing. This does not make me feel good at all. But the thing is, facing it, it doesn't matter if you and I want to face some of these things or not. We're going to have to face things eventually, my friends. My brothers and sisters, guys and gals, whoever it is out there, we're going to have to face these things eventually. And that's just the part of life that we tend to ignore. We tend to block out, and we tend to plug our ears and sing la 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 la, and we don't really pay any attention to that. And I don't blame people. I don't blame people at all for not wanting to know certain things, not wanting to talk about them. You know, even this video, most people are going to be like, well, what is the point of this video? What is the point of me listening to something that hasn't happened yet? I don't want to think about it. When it happens, it happens. But I think that that's the wrong approach, because when these things do happen and come, a lot of us are so not ready for it. It sideswipes us so bad, and it creeps up on us out of nowhere, and most people are not prepared at all. And I know that if you're not prepared, you are going to get hit by an 18-ton truck. You're going to get hit like Mike Tyson hitting you without gloves in his heyday. You are going to get hit like a meteor coming from the sky and sideswiping your freaking head. you're going to get hit that hard with certain things. You know, people that you really care about or things that you really love or like or cherish. There's going to be a day where you and I are going to have to give things up. And it's not fun. It's not pretty. It's horrible for us. You know, it's a horrible thing. But I think that we should talk about this more often as people, because then we'll be more prepared for it. We will not have to act as though we're surprised when something does happen. And I believe that we can cope with it a little bit better to take an honest look at it. You know, it's like a lot of people in this life, they're so blinded by the light of life that they ignore all the dark. They ignore all of the pain and suffering and misery and drama and just all the other things that come in life. And then when that does come, you know, I see people that they seem like they're so shocked and surprised. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound anyway, but I cannot be shocked and surprised by really anything in this life anymore, because I've experienced so much stuff. I have forced myself to literally sacrifice my own thoughts and my own psyche and the way that I see this place. I have literally put myself in the shoes of terror, and I have put myself in the shoes of bad things happening and things that most people will never look at because it's too hard to look at. It's almost impossible for some of us to accept the fact that certain things will happen whether we like it or not, and having to deal with it in a manner where I deal with it a little bit differently than other people. I would rather be honest about stuff, and I would rather just really say what it really is and then deal with it accordingly. I don't like when we beat around the bush and we act like something's not happening that might be happening, or when something does happen, everybody's trying to keep stuff like a secret or keep it away from people. And, you know, I don't really want to get into my private life, but there's something very similar that is going on in my own life right now, where it's very hard to talk about these things and to talk about it, but it's just the brutal, honest truth of what is really going on. My grandmother is 93 years old. She has lived a long life. She can still walk, but she walks with a walker. She can still talk. She can still think. She can still do things for herself. But at the same time, she's getting dementia and stuff really bad. She's losing she can't remember stuff. Sometimes she don't know. Most of the time she don't know if it's day or night. And I hate talking about this. It's horrible. I feel like I'm talking behind her back, but really I'm saying this for my own good, because it's to a point where what do you do for someone that you do love? You know, how far can you go before you just say, listen, I can't really put up with this anymore. I can't really handle this anymore, because I am not a caretaking kind of person. First off, I don't want to be a caretaker, if I'm being honest. I don't want to be taking care of another person. This is why I will never have children. This is why I will not put myself in a position to try to do something that I know that I really can't do. And in my circumstances, stuff happened where I ended up here, and now I'm here, and there is nobody else but me to be where I am at. There's literally nobody else. And I'm just to the point where, how much can you sacrifice before you say that enough is enough? Like how far can you go in the rabbit hole before it gets so dark that you're just like, I can't even see in here. Like, I just can't function with this. You know, this is not how I want to personally live, but yet I'm sacrificing my time, and I'm doing something that I don't really want to do, but I am doing it. And it's very hard to explain to people that have never done this, that haven't done this yet. And that's why I believe that even though I completely understand that she wants to stay at her home, she wants to live out the rest of her days at her home and her house, but at the same time, I don't personally want to be there. It's not my home. It doesn't feel like home to me. And I'm sacrificing a lot of my life. Not that I want the attention or nothing for it. I don't want people feeling bad for me or anything, but I'm sacrificing my time and my life and my well-being and my mental health to be there with her because, yes, I do love her. I care for her. But it's getting to the point where I'm not able to keeping up with this. I'm not able to keep putting myself through this mental strain and this stress. And every day it's starting to be a repetitive thing. Every day it's starting to be this monotonous. I got to remind her to take her pills, and she's forgetting stuff. She wakes up and then she asks me, what time, what day is it? What time of the day is it? Is it night? Is it day? Should I take my pills? Like, what's going on? And it's just to the point where even though I feel for her so much and I feel so bad for her, it's just to the point where I understand that it is her home and that's where she wants to be. But unfortunately, it might have to come down to that she might have to go somewhere where other people outside of who she really knows like that might have to end up taking care of her, because I'm just to a point where I really can't do it anymore. I'm ready to snap, if I'm being honest. I'm really ready to snap out. And I'm not used to even being around people. If you have ever watched my videos, those who have watched these videos, you already know that I'm not a socialite. I don't like being around people all the time. I can handle people for a little while, and then I gotta go. I gotta be by myself. I have to go in a room with myself. I gotta go do my own thing like I'm doing right now, because I just can't handle too much of it. But I'm not even used to being around people. And then I have to be around her every day. I'm getting woke up out of my sleep all the time. Everybody's waking me up. Like, it's just not something that I wanted to do. And even though I'm doing it, because if I wanted to, I could leave. If I wanted to, I could say I'm not doing this, because I have a choice. You know, I don't have to stay anywhere that I don't want to stay, and I don't have to do what I don't really want to do. But there gets to a point where you literally, for your own well-being, and you make yourself feel guilty. you make yourself feel bad. You make yourself feel like, oh, you're so selfish, like you can't take some of your time in your life to help somebody that you know. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. You know, there gets to a point where you have to look out for your own well-being too. Like, if you're not looking out for your own well-being and you're just constantly, you know, listening to other people, and you're kind of, see, when I'm around other people, I tend to not be able to focus on what I need to do, because I'm focusing on them. I'm worrying about them. I kind of end up being in their life and in their shoes, and my life starts evolving around them. And that's just not how I am as a person. I like to do my own thing. I like to be in my own space. I like to just have a time, maybe in certain places, people, places, and things. But then I got to go off on my own and do my own thing. That's just how I am. That's how I operate. Now, when I'm going against that grain, it's thwarting my life and who I really am. So I just say to myself, how much more can I do of this before it gets to the point where you just got to say enough is enough? But then you feel bad, you feel guilty. I feel like I'm doing something wrong when really I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just to the point that I just can't handle it anymore. It's just, even people that are caretakers get to a point where they're ready to snap, where they're like, I can't do this anymore. There's even people that like taking care of people, and they get to a point where they quit, or they say, I can't do this no more. And it's really fucked up that this is how life is. But the thing is, I think that there should be places for people to go, because I know when I get older, I'm not going to have anybody to watch over me. I'm not going to have anybody to be there to help me with stuff. Like, who's going to be there? I don't even know if anybody's going to be there. So if I end up later on in my life at some place or something, that's okay with me, because that's just what I have to do. You know, I'm not tripping. I don't feel like this world is my home anyway. I never felt at home in this world. You know, I never felt like I really had a home, even though my mother did her best for us. She did what she could do. Some things she could not do, but then she did what she could do. And I know, you know, some people tried to help sometimes, but I just never felt at home in this place. But when I had my own apartment and I was living by myself, that was the closest thing to home that I have ever came to. I did feel at home when I was in my apartment years ago. I did feel like this is where I belong right now. And that's how I really felt. And when I came around other people, I was not used to living with other people. And I'm still not used to living with other people. It's just not something that I want to do. I like living alone. I like living by myself. You know, at the end of the day, I want to be able to go into a room and close the door and know that I'm going to be in there with myself. I'm going to have my privacy. I'm going to be left alone. There ain't going to be people bugging me and waking me up and disturbing me. And right now, I just keep getting disturbed. I keep getting woken up. I keep being under this mental pressure to focus on people that, yes, I love them, but at the same time, it's like I had enough. And I'm at my breaking point with it. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do it. So that's why I'm talking about it and I'm venting it, because I don't have people to go to with this. I don't have anywhere to discuss this or an outlet to get this off my mind. Because like I said, I can't focus on what I need to do as a person when I'm focused on other people. I'm not that kind of guy. I got to focus on what I'm doing. And this is why I don't act as though I am some caretaker for other people. You know, I'm not going to act like I want to do that, and I'm not going to act like that is what I am supposed to be doing, because I made certain decisions in my life where I'm only responsible for myself, if I'm being honest. If we're all being honest, I'm only responsible for myself. You know, I didn't bring anybody into this realm. I did not involve other things in my life, and I have been alone at one time for like 6 or 7 years. I was living by myself, and I got so used to that. It's kind of like being institutionalized. When somebody is in jail for 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, you become institutionalized. You get so used to that living. You get so used to that monotony and repetition of that kind of living, or being in your own little bubble, doing your chores, doing your work, how you sleep, how you keep your things. And that's what happened to me. I got institutionalized with solitude. And now I've never gotten used to it. I cannot get used to it. I've done everything I could, and I can't get used to it. So I know that I'm somebody that I still want to do some things in this world, maybe with other people, but at the end of the day, I have got to be on my own. I have got to be able to shut a door and be in a room by myself. So anyway, if you don't think that you're ever going to have to sacrifice something, you really have to prepare for this. You have to prepare yourself, because you will be sacrificed with something, and you will have to sacrifice something. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just preparing you. I'm warning you and preparing you for when that does happen, so that you can deal with it in a better way. All right, I'll see y'all. This is Natan Mandala. I'm out.